Dr. Kemi Lawrence, it's Sunday, the 6th of October, 2024. Whenever a journalist gives you information that's very privileged and very hard to understand or hear, or it doesn't favor your ears because you like the lies, you don't like the truth, don't ever ask a journalist to give you proof of evidence. This is being a norm in the Nigerian journalistic area, as in Nigerians who follow news have this belief that journalists must always show evidence or proof of something. No, we don't have to. I was trained in the United States, okay? When it comes to journalism, free speech, media freedom, press freedom, that's the best place to be trained. Nigerian trained journalists are trained very poorly. And that's because when they graduate, they're going to work for the big owners of the media, who are the politicians and the businessmen. So the public can't technically go report something to the media because the media is owned by the same people frustrating you. If I have a problem in my street, I have a problem with water or something, I'm going to report to TVC, which is owned by Tinubu. What kind of justice am I going to get? Or I want to expose somebody, my local government chairman, who's probably in the APC. So I want to tell TVC this, which is owned by Tinubu. Tinubu's going to tell them not to report it. This is called underreported news. The other one is suppressed news. The news actually happens and they suppress it so that it doesn't happen. This is what happened to Davido and Ifeanyi. They didn't want the public to know the real reason and how this boy died, especially when they found out a journalist went to Banana Island office to ask about the drowning. And they said there was no drowning in their property. You need to know how journalism works. I don't want to hear, give us proof, give us evidence. This morning I posted that Falls is bisexual. Okay, he has, relations with women and men. And someone's asking me to actually give you proof. How do you give somebody proof of someone's sexual orientation? Excuse me? How do you do that? The newsmaker must sue the journalist to court in a civil case. That's how it's done, if it's not true. Every single thing I've reported about Davido, if it's not true, he could have sued me in a U.S. court or a Nigerian court, but he didn't. I see Nigerians say, who wants to sue a mad woman? Who has time? It's not about suing a mad woman. If it's wrong, if it's defamation, they will sue. Okay? And don't fucking call me mad woman, because most of you are stupid. Okay? OBO fans. Get it into your head, everybody. Mr. Falana told Bobrisky not to come to the National Assembly. If you notice the interview on Channels News, when Shion asked him the question, did he stagger before he made the first statement? Did he stagger, stammer? What was wrong with his voice? Go watch it again. He was clearly lying on that interview. He was the one that gave Bobrisky that legal advice not to go to the National Assembly and not to respond to comments on social media anymore. I have asked him in a post to tell us if he is the one that's the godfather of Bobrisky and the godfather of the Mohbad wife, Wunmi Adebanjo. It's simple questions. Mr. Falana can choose not to answer or not even reply me. But it's a question. That's not defamation or slander. I simply asked a question. And please don't ask me for proof of anything. Don't ask journalists for the proof. In journalism, we protect the source. You may be the source and you never know when. If you come and tell me something happened, that your landlord was seen selling cocaine to drug dealers in the middle of the night, and you told me about this, would you like me to put it in my story? XYZ told me that her landlord was the one selling the drugs. You'll be in trouble with your landlord. Not to talk of people who are going to come after you. Know how journalism is practiced. It's not a Nigerian profession. It's an international profession. Journalists do not show proof or evidence. The only people we owe proof of evidence is a courtroom or a judge. If we did something wrong according to the newsmaker's eyes. I'm Dr. Kemi. One more thing I want to say about that is a lot of you are saying VDM gives a lot of evidence of stuff. VDM is not a journalist. Okay, he's not even a blogger. VDM is somebody that does his own thing. An activist, online police, an opinion, a critic. He can show you evidence if he wants, but we have to protect the source. We cannot show you any evidence. Now, the other thing is David Hunday. A lot of people are saying David Hunday, always shows proof of something. You got to remember that David Hyundai is not a journalist. He did not study journalism. He studied writing in school and English. And he became a writer and worked at Channels News as a writer for television shows, television sitcoms. He was so desperate to get to Channels News department, but they didn't let him because some of the stuff that he was writing for television shows was getting out of hand and a lot of imagination. So they figured, no, he can't come to the news department because he can end up defaming someone. So because they didn't give him the job, he left Channels and started his own platform, West Africa Weekly, and made himself a journalist. You need to understand these things because you don't want to. And at the end of the day, took a university that's one of the best in the world, Oxford University in the UK, to disgrace David Hyundai and actually call him a disreputable blogger. They did not call him an investigative journalist. You can make yourself anything you want to be, but if you didn't study, you're not that thing. This is the problem with Nigerians. They always feel they're this, they're that, because I can do it too. No. Some people sat in the classroom. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to be called Auntie Kemi on my platforms. You come to my platform, you see me doing a video about Shadi Okoya and her closet. You're calling her Shadi Okoya on my platform. You know, you're calling her Dr. Shadi Okoya on my platform, but you're calling me Auntie Kemi. Are you stupid? Did Shadi sit in a classroom like me? Stop it. And finally, the young man that disclosed that information to David Hyundai from the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Air Force, the plan, to bomb Niger when they had the ECOWAS crisis. That plan of the Nigerian Air Force, how they're going to fly and what route they're going to take over Ghana and all that to bomb Niger. The person that released that document to David Hyundai, David posted it. That's one thing a real journalist wouldn't do. A journalist that actually studied ethics. I will not put sensitive, classified information online. David posted it. And the Ghanaian president wrote David on his letterhead, saying that we are giving you asylum here. I won't be able to protect you any further if you continue this. Ghana is also part of the ECOWAS. And if you remember very well, when David released that document, it's very, very, very easy to find out who gave it to him. He posted the document and he protected the source. But a lot of times, some things don't need to be posted at all because of national security. And this is why he's declared wanted in Nigeria, in the Pidum case and others. At the end of the day, that young man was deleted. And that's the thing with the Army and the Air Force. And the same thing with the NSA in America. The National Security Agency in America had Edward Snowden on the delete list for years. 3 presidents, and they still can't catch him. He's living in Russia somewhere. At the end of the day, delete means they eliminate you. Okay? So be careful with national security documents. Don't post it if you're an upcoming journalist, a new one. I teach you there all this stuff. So go to my school at 2222 Media School on X. That's 2222 Media School. That's 2222 Media Institute. That is my school. I own it. Okay, so know how journalism is practiced. All of you guys always saying that, show us evidence, show us proof. That's Nigerian nonsense. That's David Hyundai in journalism. Nobody has to show you anything. All right? I just gave you a free class. So say thank you in the comments.